Okay, for this part, we're going to focus on the angles in a triangle. So every triangle has 3 angles. So we've got one angle here, one angle here, and one angle here. So if I were going to add up the angles of any triangle, the sum of those 3 angles is always equal to 180 degrees. So angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if I have a missing angle here, I could create an equation I wanted here. So let's call that missing one x. So what we know is 89 plus 12 plus some number we don't know, x, is equal to 180 degrees. So let's simplify that equation a little bit. So let's add 89 and 12 together. So that would give us 101. So 101 plus something is equal to 180 degrees. That is just a one-step equation. So you would just have to, instead of adding 101, you'd have to subtract it from 180. So you would end up with x is equal to 79 degrees. So this little blank here, instead of x, this would be 79 degrees. If I needed to check it, I would add these 3 angles together, 79 plus 89 plus 12, to get 180 degrees. Okay, so let's look at this second one here. See if you can figure out what that missing angle here, angle GFH, this angle at the top would be. So if I added these 2 together, I'd have 25 plus 50 plus something I don't know equal to 180. So 25 plus 50 together is 75 plus something I don't know is 180. So 180 minus 75 would get me that this missing angle is 105 degrees. Okay, this last one here. The measure of one angle in a right triangle is 30 degrees. What is the measure of the third angle? So it looks like it only gives you one angle. One angle is 30. Now I wouldn't just do 180 minus 30 because that can't be a third angle because there has to be another one in there somewhere. What this tells you about the triangle is that it is a right triangle. So what do we know about a right triangle? Well, a right triangle has a right angle, so that one angle is 90. One of them is 30. So to get the third one, I would do 90 plus 30 plus that third angle is 180. So 90 and 30 is 120. So 180 minus 120 would give me that third angle, which is 60 degrees. Okay, now there are a couple of triangles that are special when it comes to angles, and one of them is an isosceles triangle, and the other one's an equilateral triangle. So an isosceles triangle is one that's like this one down here. That's where 2 sides, and because it has 2 sides and 2 angles, are the same. So if we look at this one here, we've got this side and this side are the same. So those angles that are opposite, this one and this one, are going to be the same. So the first thing I would do is realize that if this is x, then this is going to be x too. So if angles of a triangle are 180, and I know that x plus x plus this other angle, which is 54, has to equal 180. So that's my equation. So let's simplify that. X plus x, that means 1x plus 1x, so that's 2x plus 54 equals 180. Now this is a normal 2-step equation. I need to subtract 54 from both sides. So 180 minus 54 is 126. These 54s go away. I'm left with 2x. Last step, divide by 2. 126 divided by 2, so that would give me my answer for x, which is 63 degrees. So 63 degrees. Okay, an equilateral triangle is special because all sides are the same. Now, what does that tell us about the angles? Well, then all of the angles are the same. So every equilateral triangle has all angles that are the same. So if it gives you one of them, then you know the other ones. And in every equilateral triangle, they're going to have to add up to 180. So if I did 180 divided by 3, it's going to give you 60 no matter what. So that means that one's 60, and this one must be 60. Now, this takes into what you just learned about supplementary. If I look at this line here, B is the angle in question. B is not inside of the triangle. It's what we call exterior to the triangle. So it's next to this one. Well, we learned that when two angles are together, make a straight line, they are supplementary. So that means they add up to 180. So 60 plus B, which is what I'm going to equal 180. So I need to subtract 60. So I would get that B is equal to 120 degrees. And that makes sense because it's obtuse. That's bigger than 90 degrees. 120. Okay. A little bit more difficult here on these bottom ones. So in this one here, we have three angles. They all have variables in them. 3 angles of this triangle. So we have 6x plus 4x plus 2x. What do we know about a triangle? No matter what, it's going to equal 180. All right, so let's simplify this a little bit. 6x plus 4x plus 2x, they all have x, so I can add them together. So 6 plus 4 plus 2 would be 12x. Solve it. This is just a one step. Get rid of that 12, so we got to divide by 12. So 180 divided by 12 would give me 15. So x is equal to 15 degrees. Now remember, if it asks you to actually find the angles, you have to plug in 15. So over here, you would do 4 times 15. Here, you would do 6 times 15. Here, you would do 2 times 15. So if it ever asks you to actually find the angles, you have to plug that back in for x. So like here, 2 times 15, that's 30. So that would go here. 4 times 15, etc. Okay, let's look at number 2. Again, we're going to set all 3 of them. If I add them together, they should equal 180. So 27 plus 2x plus x equals 80. So simplify this. You can put the x's together, so that would be 3x, right? Because 2x plus x is 2x plus 1x plus 27 is 180. Two-step equation. First step, get rid of 27. I'd have 3x is equal to 180 minus 27, which is 153. 153 divided by 3, x would be 51 degrees. This one's 51, so what would this angle be? So plug in that 51. So 2 times 51 would be 102. So you got 102, 51, and 27. If you add those back up, they should equal 180. All right, last one, a little bit more difficult. Now you have a couple different variables here. You have x and you have y. So if I were going to look at these two triangles, I have one here. That one's going to add up to 180. And then I have one here. So if I had to determine which one to start with, I would want to start with the one that has all the same variables. So this one has x, x, and x. This one has x, x, and y. So that would not be a good one to start with. I want to start with the one that has all the x's in it. So I'm going to start with this one on the left here. I'm going to start with this one. Okay, so I would set this up. X plus 7 plus 3x minus 18 plus x minus 9 is equal to 180. Okay, so let's simplify it. I have x plus 3x plus x. So that's 1 plus 3 plus 1, that's 5x. And I have plus 7, negative 18, and negative 9. So 7 minus 18 and minus 9 would give me negative 20. That's equal to 180. Okay, two-step equation, you got to add. So I'd have 200, and I would have 5x. Last step, divide, and you'd get x equals 40. So now I can solve the other one. Now I can do the other triangle, because if I know x equals 40, then I can get these angles by plugging in 40. So this one is 40. If I put a 40 in there, 40 plus 21. So this angle is 61. If I put a 40 in here, 40 plus 17, that would give me 57. So now I can solve for y, because I know that 61 plus 57 plus y is going to equal 180. So 61 plus 57 plus whatever y is equals 180. So simplify that. So 61 plus 57, 118. So 118 plus y equals 180. So now all I have to do is subtract 180 minus 118. And I would get y is equal to 62 degrees. So those are my two answers for the missing variables there.